Autumn project time, the best time of the year. We have all of knitwear season ahead of us, and of course I love the planning. I love a Pinterest board. I have a big one here put together of all the projects that I want to make. Some inspiration, knitting, crochet, sewing. Most of it is style stuff, but I also have some home stuff, some stuff I want to make for my girlfriend. Fall layering is my favorite thing to style, so a big thing that I've been thinking about is how to add just like more layers to outfits, and I've been seeing a ton of skirts over pants lately. It's not even necessarily full skirts, but these kind of like wraparound belts that have a bit of skirt to them, and I've saved a bunch of pictures of inspiration to do these in a bunch of different mediums. First time I saw one of these was in a shop in Barcelona, and it was this like just incredibly mini tennis skirt that you kind of like tie around your waist as basically like an exaggerated belt. I thought that was so cool. It was very expensive, so I was like, whatever, I can make this. And it's been a while since I've done some pleating, so I want to try something like that. I've also been seeing a bunch of pictures of ones with ruffles and a little bit more gathering around them. I think that would be super cute. Maybe coming out of the bottom of a cardigan. A lot of the gathered ones I see are also made with some pretty sheer fabric. I think that textured element that could be added in with like something harder like knitwear denim would be really cool. I've really sewn with fabric that delicate before, but that could be a good challenge. I've seen some cool crocheted versions as well, like a little filet crochet but as an over skirt. I think these are so dainty and interesting, and again just like another way to add some texture to an outfit. I recently bought the pattern for Rose Fane's disco belt, which I think kind of fits into this category. I need to find a good sequin supplier first because I feel like the sequins really make this and I want to get good ones, but I think this is so sweet as an exaggerated belt, and I feel like I have some dresses I would wear this over, or a lot of the pictures she was showing were just styled over like a nice pair of pants. I don't know. I know this would be fun to make. I feel like it's one of those things that could be either easier to style than you think because it's just like whatever, put on a sequin belt with anything. Look, kind of hard. I don't know, but either way I know it would be fun to make, so this is definitely on my list. Let's talk knitwear, because honestly I've been a bit conflicted going into this season because honestly last winter I feel like I didn't wear many of my hand knit sweaters, and I think this is for a few reasons. Number one, a lot of the ones that I've made so far were made with chunky yarn. Fun to work with, easy to work up, great patterns out there, like cute stuff, but I feel like when it comes to, for me, the reality of like wearing it, I often feel just a bit like marshmallowy and like a huge sweater that's so thick. I also have like a lot of hair, and so it just like, it gets a little bit like overwhelming. I'm like, oh my god, I'm in this huge sweater. Anyone else relate? I don't know, but I found myself just like not really wearing them, and I think part of that is like I wasn't always styling them the best. Like I feel like if you wear a really heavy top, I would often just like wear a pair of jeans because I was like, oh, the sweater's the star of the show, but I feel like then it's like heavy, there's not much shape, so I'm interested to try some more like, what if I do with like a skirt and a tall boot? Like maybe that makes it feel like there's a little bit more shape to it, but anyway, I'm feeling a little bogged down by my sweaters, not gonna lie. So when I started thinking about what I want to make this autumn, I was like, oh, I don't want to get seduced by more chunky knit sweaters because I see such cute pictures of them, but then I make them and I don't want to wear them. Let's see what we can do with some lighter yarn. I'm thinking I'll give this a go. Maybe they'll lay a little bit better and just be like the style of knitwear that I feel like I can layer with, and be hopefully sweaters that I enjoy styling a little bit more. A lot of my knit sweaters, I had so much fun making them, but then I don't wear them very often, and I would love to find kind of a good balance where I enjoy making it and I want to make use of it, of course. Damson Matter, the clothing brand, has a lot of great knitwear, and they have these two sweaters that they came out with this year, last year, that I think are so cute, and I didn't buy them from them because I think they'd be so fun to make. Obviously love a stripe. I think this little cardigan would be great with some fuzzy mohair. I love this color combo, and this hooded cardigan is so inspiring as well. I feel like that would be so fun to combine, you know, some sort of hood pattern with a cardigan pattern and make something like this. This especially has been some knitwear that is like calling to me. Still on the stripe front, I'm very inspired by this picture. The sweater is a little bit chunkier, but I love how it's styled with like a mini skirt. I feel like showing a bit of leg kind of balances out the chunkiness of the sweater. So again, I love this color combo. Love a big comfy turtleneck. Might try something like this just like free-handed. And last stripe thing that has been on my list forever, I'm sure I've talked about this before, is the Simone Sweater Light. So this is light yarn, there's some stripes involved. This picture is not actually the like designer of the pattern, but I feel like this has gone so viral on like the knitting side of the internet. I see it all the time and I constantly repin it. I would never think of this color combo, but I think it is so gorgeous for this sweater. I've seen lots of different takes on this sweater, and honestly I think the color combo kind of makes or breaks it for me. So I'm gonna have to do some swatching to pick one that I think really goes with my vibe. I tend to go with like pinks and reds, which I think might feel a bit much for this big of a sweater. Then I see this one and I'm like, these are quite loud, bright colors, but it just works. I don't know. I don't know if I have like an eye that will just think, oh, these three colors will go together. Now I'm gonna buy 10 skeins of yarn to do it. I need to do some swatching or some sketching or something, but I think it's so cool how the lines work together in this one. I wanna make it, and I think this autumn I might finally do it after a few years. One kind of random knitting project that I really want to do is a textured scarf. Kind of in the stripe lane. I've had this box of yarn for 2 years this autumn. It's so beautiful that I'm afraid to use it. And honestly, a lot of the stuff is like so textured, I'm not sure it would really work for like a sweater or a piece of clothing like that, but I think a scarf that kind of shows off all the different textures could be a great way to make some use of it, and I can see myself myself, yeah, wearing that over a leather jacket and thinking that's super cute. So I've been saving some inspiration for different striped scarves, and again, I would just kind of freehand using this box of yarn to put something together. There are a few things that I've made recently that I want to make new versions of. So this summer I made this set with a shirred top and a maxi skirt. So cute, I got so much use out of it, and this shirred top was honestly so comfortable and one of my most worn tops of the summer. So I want to make a version with sleeves to model it after this Opera Studios dress. I actually have this in 2 colors because I think it's so cute. But I love the kind of gathered cap sleeves that are on this and how the shirt doesn't start right here. You know, it starts kind of down here and you still get a little flare at the bottom. I think that is adorable and something that I could pretty easily self-draft myself and just add on to the shirred top the same way that I had already self-drafted the tank top version. So I have a pretty plaid fabric that I'm gonna do that in. I feel like plaid is very autumnal to me. I'm very excited about that for a while, but it just takes a long time because you have to shirr so many lines. So I'm waiting for when I have a day and I can just like sit and shirr for a while, but I think that will be super cute. I've been excited about that for a while. I also recently self-drafted this off the shoulder kind of tank top, and I'd love to make more of those. It was one of my first times using a semi-stretchy fabric, and it was very inspiring how easy it was. I don't know why I had built it up in my head that I was gonna like have trouble with the tension or whatever. I'd love to make more of those in different colors. Again, plaid is a big inspiration for me in the autumn. So maybe some pattern ones now that I have a plain black one, or just other colors. This fabric was relatively cheap too and you don't need much of it. So I might just kind of like churn out a few of those because they were very quick to make and they've been so comfortable. So with that kind of fabric, I'm thinking about making some just very simple like long sleeves or 3/4 sleeves kind of in this style. I love the slight flare and crop at the bottom of this. Sleeves and like the slight boat neck. Just these little elements that I feel like make it different than, you know, just like a plain black shirt. But if I made a few of these again in a few different colors, they're kind of stretchy, they're comfy, I could see these being things that I grab for a lot. I also recently made my first see-through skirt, a sewing upcycle that I did, and it was super fun and I had fun wearing that this summer. So I've been on the lookout for other kind of styles like that that could be cool. And I think relatively recently Rose Knitwear came out with this iris skirt. It's this gorgeous knit stitch. Something I love about this designer is they use such unique stitches in their patterns. It's this gorgeous stitch and they've done it without lining inside, which I think looks quite cool with a knit skirt. Honestly, I don't love a lot of knit skirts. Again, kind of what I was saying with like knitwear, I think they can sometimes just look a little bit too heavy or I wouldn't know quite how to style them. But I feel like this, having this slight sheer element makes it a lot more breathable and like movable. The length of it is like low-key classy, even though it's see-through. I don't know, I might give this a go. I could see this being something that I make and it just like, I don't like how it looks on me versus, you know, how like the designer made it look. I'm curious about the stitch, it might be cool just to learn anyway. I did save a few of my own patterns to this Pinterest board just because I want to like keep everything together. But something that I often do is like go back through old Material Girls patterns that I put out. They're all very quick and easy to make. And obviously I make a few versions of them when I put together the magazine and put the pattern out initially, but sometimes I find myself like forgetting like, oh, I already have the instructions and materials to do this, like I could do it at any time. Ones that I want to revisit this autumn are the Girl Dinner placemat. Girlfriend and I moved to a new flat relatively recently and we have this beautiful glass dining table. So I want to make a cute place setting for it. It wouldn't be as like girly as the one pictured here. It'd probably be with more like oranges and blues perhaps. And I might not even add the ruffle to the edges, we'll see. Because I think we're maybe looking for a little bit more just like patchy utilitarian look down there, we'll see. But I do love a quick little patchwork project like this. I think that would be quite fun. And of course, tabby mittens. It's about to be tabby mitten season. Material Girls has both a knitting and a crochet version of this out for free. Something that happens a lot when I make Material Girls patterns is that I'm making very pink projects for, you know, the magazine and for the aesthetic of the magazine and to take pictures for that. I have yet to make kind of like an everyday version of these tabby mittens. Maybe in like a black or a blue, something that matches the winter coat that I'll be wearing most of the time. The crochet ones just feel very like grabby and thick for the winter, so probably the crochet versions are the ones I'm gonna go for. 2 kind of random specific projects to add in. I want to make these for Grace. I'm wanting to get more into baking and asked if I'd make her an apron, which is so cute. She found this free pattern that has a lot of different pockets in it. She's very like utilitarian in her style, so I think this would be very fun. And then I found this fleece jacket pattern, which I just think looks fun to make. I was gonna make it and give it to her because it's not necessarily what I would usually wear, but I could see her wearing something like this. And it seems like a good challenge. Like I feel like a lot of the stuff I do self-drafting or just like simple patterns or a lot of like gathering and shirring instead of like making specific pieces. This just looks like a good challenge to be very specific with what I'm working on, assemble something with lots of pockets and zippers. A good challenge. I don't know. Now I've put it out there. Hopefully I rise to the challenge, but I think some cool color blocking on this would be cool. I don't think I've even told Grace I want to make this for her yet. If you're watching this, Grace, I hope you like it. And lastly, I have some upcycling inspiration. I've been feeling like, yeah, I just want to get more creative with adding pops of cool imagery to things. I think I've shied away from this for a while because it feels like if you add imagery to something, it makes it a little bit less versatile than if you just have like a plain color pattern. But that's not very fun, and I've been seeing a lot of cool inspiration lately. There's just some cool takes on like patchy like mechanic uniforms. To put my name or like a cute word on something like this and patch up with a few things on a piece. And something else that really stuck out to me is this picture of a flower. I've done some fabric collage stuff in the past. I think that's a really fun way to get creative with fabric, is layering a bunch of different things and thinking about ways you can use scraps to make imagery. But I haven't really made a new piece like that in maybe a year or so, so this one kind of reawoken that excitement in me. I don't really have a good plain shirt for this. Maybe some of the ones that I plan on making with my little stretchy fabric. I think something kind of like oversized and just really like across the shirt could be really cool. That's all the stuff I've had on my mind recently when it comes to autumn projects. Any of these things that have patterns associated with them, I'll link down below, but let me know what you're making this autumn. I'm always open to my list growing, so I'd love to hear. And stay tuned for hopefully some project vlogs of making all this happen.